Hey Gemini, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Gemini, I'm going to start out with the astrology, especially because of the new moon and how very, very unique and powerful this new moon is. And some other really interesting aspects that speak to the energies around you right now. And then we're going to move into the cards. There is always an extended reading, and you have two ways to enjoy that now, either through the Vimeo purchase or through joining the membership Unbound. And Unbound not only opens you up the privilege of all of the extendeds, however many you want to watch for an unlimited amount of time, but it also unlocks a lot of other perks, right? Especially like members only chats with me, where I'll read cards, I'll help you analyze your natal chart, all of those things that we can discuss and talk about in a more intimate group setting, as well as other perks. So there's just a lot of different perks that go with that Unbound membership. So go ahead and indulge yourself. Like, let it happen, dude. We'd love to hear your voice there. Ultimately, Gemini comes out every single Thursday, so please remember to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. Select all notifications so you know when I upload your favorite content. And remember, I have a second YouTube channel called Astrology Motivation, and I'd love for you to join me live daily for those daily tarot card readings, Monday through Friday. So let's get into it. So Pisces is your 10th house. Pisces is your 10th house. And ultimately, what does that mean? What you're building into the world. It means that you're a visionary, essentially, that you don't see things the way that normal people see things. And you kind of think beyond or think outside of the box, especially when creating your career. And you don't want a typical career. It has to constantly interest you and intrigue you, and you like move you to the next step, right? Like always make you want to go to the next step. It can't be boring or mundane. It has to be challenging. I think especially esoterically challenging your career. Now, ultimately, that's wonderful because the sun and the moon are illuminating each other. They are really on each other's side right now. But the bigger power is that the sun and the moon are there in conjunction, happy with each other. Like, in other words, your ego and your sub-self, your internal self, they're on the same page. They know exactly what they want in your 10th house, with Neptune and Jupiter, the two planets of expansion and infinite possibility. And ultimately, this is going to be the time when you are going to be listened to, or your visions are going to be taken more seriously than they ever have been. Chiron is in your 11th house, so ultimately society's pressures, humanitarianism, for the good of the crowd, has probably been attacking you a lot. It's probably been frustrating you a lot, keeping you down, or giving you a lot of guff. And this is what you can transcend beyond in this beautiful Piscean energy right now. Basically, it's what you can transcend beyond right now. Or anything, in other words, you can go back and now say, all the guff that you were giving me, let's look at it again. It's almost like what do you call it? Not retribution, not resolution. It's when you get a second chance, or when you get exonerated, that type of thing. It's kind of that energy, because you showed a great deal of tenacity and you didn't give up and you didn't rest on your laurels because the crowd said to. So that is really something that is going to make you stand out and make you unique, and actually be rewarded right now. It's almost like in a lot of ways you already did the work, and so this is a great, beautiful time for you to just be recognized for it. Let's get into the cards, Gemini. 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 Okay. So, okay. So there is something still subverted here. Groundhog, time to let go. Somebody is holding on. This could be grudges, right? This could be somebody is constantly gnawing at you, constantly bugging you, trying to get to you subliminally or in underhanded ways. Somebody is digging at you. This is scorpionic energy, so it's beneath the surface. It could be psychically somebody keeps tormenting you. Maybe you can't stop thinking about somebody. This is also a sense of having a really hard time letting go of behavior patterns, bad behaviors, drinking too much, eating too much, doing things that are bad for you, doing things that hurt you and make you sick or make you ill, or like self-defeating things. This is a sense of those things that you've had a really difficult time healing. And really the whole point of it is, the reason why you've had trouble healing is because there's a lack of desire to face them, a lack of desire to address them. And this would be the time when they would be illuminated and really be so intense that you would have to face them. You would have no choice. And this is one of the best blessings you could give, because you could be given, Gemini, because ultimately it's this that's holding you back. It's this self-detriment. It's this, it's you, what you're doing to yourself to keep yourself down or make your life harder. That's now becoming very apparent. Okay. And then we have co-create with spirits. So this was definitely going against God's plan. It's definitely a sense of not acting on your own. You knew you weren't supposed to do it. You knew it was bad for you. You knew that it was going to go south and it was not going to be taken well. But ultimately you do it anyway, for pride's sake, for ego's sake. And this is the thing that we confront now, Gemini, and that you get a chance to do over. Okay? And then we have take time out here. So maybe this was it. This is all happening just slightly in the past. So this is a sense of realizing that you needed time to just like move the fuck away from everybody and recalibrate yourself. Take care of yourself, heal yourself, right? Heal yourself from the constant and perpetual attacks that were coming at you. Because how the hell did that help anything? It didn't help anything at all, right? It's like other people were not really good for you or opened up to you or really understanding anything about what you were going through. I think they just kind of like made you sort of their scapegoat in a lot of ways. It didn't mean that you were behaving perfectly, but ultimately what it was just a sense of, well, now we can always use you as a scapegoat. So ultimately you needed to take a break from all this shit. Or you needed to actually remove yourself, get yourself into therapy, recovery, whatever it is that would really help you to address those toxins, those constant attacks. Could even be spiritual attacks. You know, attacks on your soul, attacks on your heart, whatever was attacking your soul, attacking your heart, and degrading you. This was your way of confronting it and medicating it, like healing it, not medicating it, healing it. It was your way of healing it, to just basically take some time out. Now, I knew you did this, so this was in the past. And then we have learn from the past, and now you're learning from the experience that you went through. And you're turning what could have been your darkest hour into ultimately your greatest strength. Why? Because there's no such thing as failure as long as you learn something from it, right? So this is learning from the past. Very clear, and you love to learn. You love to learn and you love to educate. So ultimately there is a sense of you're turning this moment in your history into a pivotal point, a teaching point, so that you can change. You can be different. You can make different choices. We have be peace here. You're finding tranquility. This is all coming out in the future. You're finding a sense of tranquility. You're finding a sense of stability. You're also finding a sense of people now want to, or maybe now you're ready to, because you can flip any of these energies. Maybe you're ready to extend somebody an olive branch, extend a group an olive branch. I think it's more a somebody with you because you like to address things one-on-one in one-on-one conversations. This is where you have your most power and you have your most best confrontations, right? So now there's a sense of an olive branch being extended to you or by you, whichever side that you're on. And then we have life is speeding up, and it's in reverse, which is your energy. In other words, there's a sense of, I don't want to move away from this. I don't want to move on from this quickly. There is a sense of, you're not running anywhere. You don't feel like running and you're not going to run. You're almost confronting an issue. That's kind of what it is. You're just like allowing yourself to confront an issue. And all of this energy is what's going to help you transcend right now. The fact that you didn't run, the fact that you confronted issues, the fact that you knew you were getting into hot water and people were going to attack you, but you didn't run, right? You decided to stick it out and stay and force people to talk about it, force people to confront you on an equal one-on-one level, right? This is absolutely something that is what ultimately is helping you break through, or your secret recipe to success is what I am getting and feeling. Gemini. Don't let pride get in your way. Okay. So this could have to do with something happening in your 4th house. This is where you and your loved ones are safe. Don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. Ultimately, this is a sense of, it's in reverse. So I think this is a sense of reckoning, to be honest with you. It's a sense of realizing and understanding that there are certain things that are more important than people knowing or believing that you're right. And ultimately taking 2 steps back, 3 steps back, not because you're scared, you're intimidated, or you're defeated, but because there were more important things for you to focusing on your children, right? Or this is what you're standing up for, right? You're standing up for your children, you're standing up for these things, and you're being combative because you know that this will eventually impact your children, and you don't want them to have to be impacted by this. So ultimately you really feel like there's a higher purpose going on here, and it's not actually you that you're doing this for at all. You really see this as being constructive for people that you care about. So it could even be you are not backing down for reasons of you want to set a good example, or you want to clear up some shit because you want the world to be a better place for your kids. Something like that. But ultimately, watch out, because there's still that tendency to make these good intentions become very arrogant and become all about you, and that's what's eventually going to make you suffer and make you struggle. Also, this is a sense of many of you have taken a lot of attacks on your personal character. Gemini. The waiting game, which means that there is something stuck in limbo. And that may be what's really impacting your ego negatively. That sense of, why the fuck is this taking so long? Why are we still deliberating on this? Why can't you make up your mind? Why won't a decision be made? This is spiritual strength. So it's taking you it's saying faith, have faith. God wants you to have faith. It's this weight, this stuck that you're in, this limbo, is actually God teaching you strength. That's 100% God's device right now, or the universe's device to make you a stronger person, is to face those parts of yourself that are egotistical, that are actually gonna, not that you're causing your own pain, but you're exacerbating your own pain, because your ego is saying, like, fuck this shit, I want my answers now. You can make matters worse for yourself ultimately, and the hurt, the suffering, you're gonna wait. If you want to stop waiting, you got to stop resisting. That's kind of what it is. It's like you're actually being taught to be stronger and to be a better version of yourself by things being held in limbo right now, and you being stuck and your wheels spinning and you not getting the resolution that you desire. It's like you put forth this peace treaty, you put forth this olive branch to somebody and they're not responding the way that you expected. It's because you're being taught patience, and you're being taught to strengthen your character through learning patience. That's what it is. This is the waiting game. This is an acknowledgement from Spirit. I'm trying to teach you strength by keeping you, by not giving you the answers that you want, or not letting this move as fast as you want it to move. And ultimately, that's going to happen. You're going to probably be spinning your wheels all the way through up until April. right? There's just that sense right now that it's trying to teach you patience and really how you make matters worse for yourself. And that is going to be the best lesson ever, because it's one of the things you have the most control over. So you can always choose your own choices. You can always choose how you react, right? You can always choose how embarrassed you feel, how set upon you feel, right? You can always control those things. This is also a sense of, you know what? People keep, I don't know, it could also be a sense of you're waiting for the olive branch to come back to you, but ultimately it hasn't. Well, the waiting game is all about teaching you a sense of patience. It's just about trying to improve your spiritual strength. This is an opportunity for you. I know it doesn't feel that way, but God works in mysterious ways, and that's that Chiron energy that I was talking about. We have mountains. Yeah, there are obstacles, but it also says stand your ground. Stand your ground against these obstacles. Like, be the solid. This could be construed as stubbornness, right? But it's not. It's integrity. And ultimately, it's going to be construed as stubbornness by people who don't respect your perspective, right? It's going to be stubbornness, but people who do understand your perspective are going to see that it's integrity. So ultimately, what is it to you? That's the only question you really need to answer. Ultimately, it's also a statement that says, stick up for yourself. And I think that you are. I think by not backing down and by demonstrating your integrity and by extending the olive branch and giving somebody else the opportunity to talk, even though you don't get a response, there's just a sense of this is your way of not backing down. This is your way of not letting somebody get away with being able to assume things of you or accuse things or, fling shit at you. You got to stick up for yourself. You got to stick up, but you're not doing it aggressively. You're doing it by offering them the ability to talk about something, right? That's what you're doing. Stand your ground, and you're allowed to use your talents and your gifts, which is definitely communication and how quick your mind works, right? And also all that you've learned, you can recall really easily. So ultimately, you're allowed to use your gifts to the best of your capabilities, especially in these stressful situations. Trader. Exchange energy to create abundance. It's not a traitor, it's a trader. Trader as in trade. So this is a sense of you're trying to exchange energies with somebody. You're trying to offer an exchange of energies. You're trying to probably offer conversation. Exchange energies to create abundance. That's what it is. That's what you're standing your ground on. You're like, no. You're not going to get me to not talk about things. And that's what people are pissed at you about. You want to talk about shit. You think conversation is valuable. You don't back down from conversation. You want conversation. But other people kind of like don't want conversation. They want to shut you up. And ultimately, I think that's what's making you, if anything, is really grinding against you right now. It doesn't mean you're wrong at all. Peacekeeper, let go of the need to be right. Bam. And that's what's kind of like coming out here, right? These cards of like, try to make peace. You're stubborn, you're stuck in your ways, and you're letting your ego get in the way. So know that, what are you doing this for? Are you doing it for resolution, or are you doing it because you want to be right? And I think that this is your main challenge. And if you can face that demon head on and say, okay, what am I doing it for? Do I just want to like debate the shit out of this situation or talk to be heard? Am I saying things just to win the conversation, or am I saying things to fix and solve things? And these are the kind of tensions that you're going to start feeling in your life right now happening, like I said, especially among your community, whatever community you belong to, right? This sense of really wanting to rebel against them because they've pissed you off in some ways, and maybe they haven't listened to you, but not listening to them isn't really going to solve the problem, is it? Right? And forcing your way on them, you might be doing it a little bit just for your pride's sake, but that's going to show. That's going to show, and that's going to cause you more tension than you really need right now. Whatever this is, whoever this is a confrontation with. Gemini, Loyal heart. This is beautiful energy. And you don't want to let whatever you're currently disagreeing about impact you or your integrity. That's what you don't want to. You don't want to let somebody else's bad shit bring out the worst in you, right? You want to be able to be loyal heart. And this is sideways, right? This is a sense of, is it loyal? Who is loyal to you? I think that's a challenge right now of, do you really even know? Chaos and conflict is right here, okay? Chaos and conflict. And then we have clean it up, no place like home, and TikTok. So here's where you're running out of time. Realizing where you're wrong and admitting it, right? And where you have to clean shit up. How you were a part of the chaos and the conflict. Taking responsibility for that, owning that, right? That's the biggest challenge. Because once you do, you can then go and make things right. Make things right just by not making them worse. Make things right just by not giving anybody else any more fuel. You know, make things right. Because like I said, I'm not even saying that you started out wrong. But what I'm saying is, this is the strategy. This is the way forward. Clean it up, especially around the house. This is, again, that Cancerian energy. It's fourth house energy. Clean something out. Like, clean it up. Fix it up. Fixing up strife with your family or strife about your family, and ultimately realizing that now is the time to do it. Let's go to tarot so we can understand how this is going to play out in all these important aspects of your life. I love you guys, and I will see you. The links are below.